What's up, everybody, and welcome to Optimus Fantasy Football. It's Friday, and you know what that means. It is time for the Friday Vibes Show. I'm Nate Polvogt, joined by my co-host, the one and only, the man with some of the most awesome NBA jerseys I've ever seen, quite honestly, outside of my kid, because he's got a bunch of them too. But Mr. Keith Flemming, how are we doing this Friday afternoon?
I'm doing good, man. The NBA started back. The Hawks are actually really interesting this year, which is fun for us. And the Falcons. I went to the Falcons game Monday. That was
Hell yeah.
freaking incredible. And I don't want to speak too much about it because it just feels like that when good stuff starts happening in Atlanta, it always takes a turn. But exciting times in the city.
Yeah. I'm excited for basketball starting up. All the chatter here really is that if the Nuggets don't win a title, it's been a disappointment of a season. They're loaded. They actually have a bench this year, which is something they
OKC
haven't really.
is the only thing that prevents me saying they're definitely going to win the title because I think OKC is just
They're good.
so loaded with young talent. They're just so good on defense. That's the other thing is in the playoffs, that defense makes such a big deal, man.
Yeah, but can he do it again? Can he have that kind of season again? He's going to have to for Oklahoma City to be even remotely relevant. But here's the thing. We're not a basketball show, but this does give me an opportunity to plug something we're working on behind the scenes. If you are into basketball betting, basketball DFS, we're going to have NBA props, NBA lines on our betting tool here in the next couple of weeks. And we're going to have an NBA DFS optimizer popping up here in the next month or so. So if you are into basketball, even though it's not a basketball show, make sure you check that out on our site. You can get in ahead of everybody else with the promo code OptimusFall. Get 25% off your first 4 months with that promo code. And with that, Keith, let's get into our first question coming in from Galaxy Pickers over on YouTube. He needs to know for this Week 7 NFL slate, is he starting Quinshon Judkins or Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt Bill this week?
For me, and I know it hurts because last week was so disappointing for Quinshon Judkins, but you got a couple of factors. A, they're calling for rain and potentially 30 to 50 mile an hour winds. So I would assume that's going to be a heavy run game script for both teams. B, he's playing the Miami Dolphins, which is actually more important than the weather. The Dolphins are so bad. They're the 160 yards per game on the ground, by far the most in the NFL, almost allowing 6 yards per carry. And Kimani Vidal, we like Vidal, right? But he got cut by the Chargers. He's never done anything significant in a game. He gets 15 touches versus the Dolphins. What's he do? He goes off for 100 yards and a touchdown. Ramondre Stevenson rushed for 100 yards earlier versus his team. They are really bad versus the run. So I love both plays. My real question would be who is, the guy you're starting over both these guys? Because, I'm not a ranker guy, but wouldn't you say they're both top 10 plays this week?
I'd play both. Obviously, unless you're rolling out somebody a little bit higher up in the pecking order, if you got Jonathan Taylor
or CMC or something,
CMC, something
JT,
like that.
Never mind.
JT.
Sorry,
right.
Galaxy.
Yeah, so if it's JT, okay. Between these two, I don't think you can really go wrong. I would say, however, because Washington does have other avenues, they have other dimensions to their offense, I'd be more apt to start Judkins. I think you're going to trust Jaden Daniels to do a little bit more in bad weather than you're going to trust Dillon Gabriel, who played at Oregon, didn't have to play in bad weather very often. I think you just don't trust him as much, and you lean on Judkins a little bit more. I think he sees higher volume against Miami. Plus, it's Miami. Dude, he can have 10 carries and 185 yards. Look what Rico Dowdle did to him. Went for north of 200.
So bad.
They're so bad. But what's crazy is something, though, and I wrote about this in our waiver wire article. I like Miami as a defensive streamer this weekend because of the weather because I think it's going to be sloppy on both sides. And you've got, again, a rookie quarterback in Dillon Gabriel. Their defense is really bad. They're going to give up yards. They're going to give up points, but I think they're also going to get turnovers. So they're not a bad, and in DFS, they're one of the cheapest defenses on the slate. We talked about them earlier today on our DFS show, which will be live tomorrow morning with myself and Mike Reedy. But yeah, I lean Judkins. I really don't think you can go wrong with either one of these guys.
Yeah, and I mean, I see that he has London in his flex. He's another guy that I just can't sit. So, like, I
Yep.
understand why you're choosing between them. I mean, I think that again, I think Jukins is definitely the safer play, but I do think that JCM probably has a higher ceiling
Yeah.
because we know that Dallas gives up a gazillion points. And let's say that, every time Washington scores, they get down to like the 3 or 4 and they just pound it in with him. But overall, I'm with you. Like, I think Daniels is going to steal the show in that matchup in Jerry World. Like, I just expect him to have a big day. I
Yeah.
expect him to run for a lot of yards. And I think Jukins is going to come back because he's been fantastic every game this year. And I was pumping him up for DFS last week, not thinking it's Dylan Gabriel on the road versus Pittsburgh coming off a bye. Like, that was my fault. Like, I didn't
Yep.
think about that they were going to have a great game plan. And they ended up throwing it 52 times. That's why Jukins had a bad game. That's why his snaps were down. He's not going to be
Yeah.
on the field in those passing situations.
Right.
That will not be the case in the weather that we're talking about.
Nope. No, it will not. And no, look, Washington's playing in a dome, but again, Dallas, one thing they can do on offense is throw the ball. Like you were saying, they can get it downfield. It's going to force Washington to throw the ball more. It just, for me, it has to be Judkins out of these two. But I wouldn't fault you if you go the other way.
No, they're both good
We've
plays.
Yep. We've got It's Bance over on Twitch. Keith, he's got this question, wants to know, should he start Jordan Mason or Chris Olave in his flex position this weekend?
If it's a PPR format, I still like Olave. I mean, he's the PPR scam this year, right? Like that he's going to get you like 10 to 12 points in PPR formats every week. And let's just be honest,
Yep.
he's due to go off. Like, there's going to be a game because Rattler's been, I got to be honest, better than I ever expected him to be in New Orleans. Like, I think he's actually earned a chance to potentially be their quarterback moving forward. When you think about like how few starts he's had, but like Mason in a standard league, I would lean for just because Philly struggled with the run, and their defense just does not look great the last couple of weeks. But in a PPR format, I can't turn down a free 10 to 12 points, and that's literally Olave's floor every week.
Yeah, when I first looked at this, I was gonna say Jordan Mason, especially because of the weather. The Saints are playing in Chicago, likely gonna be similar weather to what's going to be happening in Cleveland. But here's the thing: is it like you said? I've got Olave at wide receiver 26. I'm 7 spots behind consensus on him this week, at least heading into the weekend right now. I see the weather in this game; it concerns me. Rattler hasn't had to play in a lot of really poor weather. He plays his home games in a dome. However, if someone's going to see passing volume, and someone has to see passing volume in this game, they don't have the rushing attack to just pound the ball on the ground. It's going to be Olave. He's been north of 10 targets every single game this season but one, and he's consistently scored double-digit fantasy points, like you were saying. I don't love it, but I'm going to take Olave over Mason if it's PPR for sure, and probably even in standard. I just think we see a little bit more. I don't trust Jordan Mason. So I would say Olave as well. We've got this one coming in from Trevin FR on YouTube. He got offered Rico Dowdle and Tyjae Spears for Quentin Johnston. Quentin Johnston's got a rough schedule, and his wide receiver room right now is A.J. Brown, Romo Dunze, Rashee Rice, and Quentin Johnston. I'm going to say right now I would take this deal. I think Dowdle long-term is going to fit into this offense somehow, some way. We don't know what it's going to be. We'll see this week, but his role won't go away at this point. I kind of get this gut feeling he's going to be the primarily rushing back in this Carolina offense. And I think there's room for Tyjae Spears once he's fully healthy in Tennessee. Again, not an especially good offense. If they can add another dynamic to the running game, it makes us a better team. And Quentin Johnston, I don't trust that he's going to continue to be as productive as he's been.
I mean, I actually do think like Johnson has just at this point proved me wrong because it was the last 4 games last year and then the way he's played this year. Like, I just think he's figured it out. Like, he was, you remember, a top 10 receiver. So people obviously thought highly of him coming out of college. However, because of his roster construction, I'm assuming he's weak at running back, right? Like, usually if you have that kind of receiver room, you're going to obviously, probably not have, unless you got really lucky with, like taking like Scattaboo and all these guys late, not have a lot of backs. And I would assume you're not starting QJ a lot of weeks anyway. Now that Rashee Rice is back, like I can't sit Rashee Rice. I mean, obviously you could sit AJ Brown, but I think I get it. Like, why not take a shot? And if Carolina ends up going back to Hubbard, and I'm the guy that owns Hubbard everywhere, like it's going to kill a lot of my teams if, he just basically loses that gig. But with what Dowdle did, I don't care if it was versus the, bad news Browns. Like the fact that he is rushed, he's only the sixth player since 1970, back-to-back 230 total yard games. So if that doesn't earn you more touches and like at least, a lion's share of the carries, what the hell are y'all doing? I understand coaches know more than we do, but come on.
Yeah. Oh, no, there's no way that, like I said, Dowdle is the better running back. Between him and Hubbard, I trust, and I would have said that last season. He played really well. He was 1,000-yard back in Dallas. This is going to end up in a split. I think Hubbard takes most to the passing work, but getting Dowdle, yes, I would like to get Dowdle on this side. He's going to be valuable the rest of the season. 200 yards against Miami, and like you said, I don't care who he did it against. Right. I couldn't run for 200. Jordan Mason couldn't run for 200 yards against that defense. I would bank on it. He couldn't do it. All right, let's move on to the next one here. Galaxy Pickers wants to know, Keith, who do you like rest of season, Sam Darnold or Bo Nix? He acquired Baker Mayfield in a trade, couldn't turn it down, so thinking of moving off either of the other two. Who do you like better rest of season, Keith?
I would say, Bo Nix slightly just because of the rushing upside and the rushing floor, but I would be trying to trade Bo Nix because I think you can get more than you can for Darnold, and I don't think it's going to be that big of a disparity. Like, I had to eat some crow last year with Bo Nix. I did not think it would work in the NFL, and it did. However, teams make that adjustment, right? They figure out what you do well, and then they're going to make you do something else. He has struggled this year with that next step, right? Like right now, he's having a hard time doing the things that he did last year. And because of that, I do think it's close, but Nix is, could also be the kind of guy who goes on a run where he has like 40, 50 rushing yards in 6-7 straight games like he did last year. And he finished QB 8 overall. So, I think he's slightly better rest of the season, but I would try to trade him and keep Darnold because Baker is an automatic start. Now, I don't give a damn if none of those receivers playing, none of the running backs. He could be out there by himself, and I'm starting Baker Mayfield at this point. Dude's unreal.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. You have to start Baker, and if you couldn't turn down the trade, I can't turn down any trade with Baker Mayfield in it right now.
So
I'm taking all of them. Yeah, if you're going to offer him to me, I'm going to take him. Here's where I sit with this. And I'm kind of with you with Bo Nix because he could get streaky. He could get hot. We saw him start really slow last season, pick it up, and he ended up being QB8 overall. But we don't know that that's going to happen again. We've seen quarterbacks who will go on these runs. We get real excited about them. They never do it again. CJ Stroud, look at how good he was his rookie season. We have not seen that production or remotely close from him since. I want Darnold because I don't trust Nix going forward. Could he blow up and be big? Yes, he could. I don't trust that it's actually going to happen, though. I think there are too many holes in this Denver offense. It's not as complete as we thought it was going to be. Evan Ingram hasn't been the factor we thought he was going to be. They're now missing 2 of their prime starting offensive linemen. That has hurt them overall. We saw it against the Jets. Darnold, however, right now, if you take away week 1, which is an atrocious performance against San Francisco, in the 5 games since, I think he's quarterback 8 in points per game. He's quarterback 6 overall in that span in total points. I want Sam Darnold. There's no reason to think it won't continue. Hold on to him. You can get more for Nix. Very much to your point, Keith. So we're on the same page with this one, I do believe. We're going to move on to this one now. This is another one from Twitch. This is Blizzard. He wants to know if he should start Devin Achane or Rico Dowdle this week. Hands down, it's Achane. It has to be Achane. Given the weather, everything we talked about, I know Cleveland's run defense is really good, but I want Achane this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's closer than most weeks because Cleveland's run defense is so good. But I think if you look at the weather and that wind, and we know Achane is so involved in the passing game anyway, especially since Tyreek's, had been done for the year. I mean, he literally could get 15 targets in this game. Like if Miami gets a situation where they have to throw, which it's probably likely with their run defense. Oh my God. Like if it's a PPR format, he might get 15 points on just receptions alone. Yeah. So I'm with you.
Yep, it's got to be H-Hand. All right, we're going to move over to this one. Tyler Sperry over on YouTube. Kyron and No Score London or Rashad White. And at tight end, Mason Taylor or leaning Fannin. Maybe Barber, pick one, don't trust the Jets. Mayer or Barber, pick one, don't trust the Jets. So I'm going to say right now, Harold Fannin. He's the only person who's going to see targets in that game on the Cleveland side. He's phenomenal. And David Njoku did not practice today. Unlikely to play. And even if he does, they play completely different roles in this offense. Then I'm going Rashad White over Kyron Williams this week.
I think I gotta go with Mason Taylor. I understand like it looks rough with the Jets, and it does. But remember, Garrett Wilson is gone. And he actually, I believe, has 18 more targets than any other wide receiver or tight end on that team. And that was with Garrett Wilson. So, I mean, he's going to see unbelievable volume. And this is a Panthers defense that this season has allowed 37 receptions for 432 yards and 3 touchdowns to opposing tight ends. So they have issues covering the tight end in general. I think that if it was a normal weather game, I would probably lean Fannin, but because of the weather, I just think that means there's going to be less passing in that game. I agree with you. A lot of the volume is going to go to them in that game, but I just think the Jets are also really bad. So, like, if Carolina gets up and they get in a throw situation, I'm serious, Mason Taylor could have another guy could have 10, 15 targets easily this week. He got 12 a couple of weeks ago, and again, Garrett Wilson played.
Yeah, and that's a fair point. I suppose I don't know why I trust Harold Fannin this weekend more. I suppose it's maybe more of a gut, but you probably can't go wrong with either one. I have no interest in starting Michael Mayer, even with Brock Bowers likely out again.
I'm with you.
There's no way.
It's a tough matchup. It's not like last week.
No, it's not. And then AJ Barner is the other tight end in here. I like Barner a lot, but Taylor and Fannin just have so much more upside, and they're less touchdown dependent because these guys are actually getting volume, whereas Barner has to score a touchdown to be relevant. Where do you sit on Kyron and Rashad White?
I think I'd have to go Kyron, just because without Puka, I would think that they're going to lean on him even more, and he might get, he's been involved a lot in the passing game, so maybe he gets a few more targets out of that. It's close, though, for me. Like, you could go either way, because obviously you would have to assume that White is also going to get a lot of extra volume with, Egbuka on top of every freaking body else out for Tampa. But we saw last week, like, Baker turned a guy that I'd never heard of into a guy that thought they were chanting MVP for him, which is like one of my favorite videos I've ever seen by NFL. He's like, they're chanting MVP for, like, you idiot. No, they're chanting MVP for Baker. Oh, to his credit, he goes, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah. I'm leaning Rashad White. You got Mike Evans back, but no Chris Godwin, all the injuries. And I love Cade Otton this week too.
Oh, I do
just
too.
As an aside.
He typically, when they're really, weak at receiver in terms of a lot of guys are out, usually Otton just gets peppered with targets.
Yeah, he usually does. I want to pop this one up for Myth Carry, and that's Lou Brunson, our homie who runs the social media. I trust Fannin because Stefanski trusted Gabriel to throw 52 times last week, and Glenn doesn't trust Fields to throw it all. And not only does he not trust Fields to throw it all, it seems like, and from stuff that we've read, Fields doesn't trust himself to throw the ball. He said he's being extra cautious, and it's leading to a lack of explosivity in the Jets' offense. They're not turning the ball over, but they're also not exciting, right?
Yeah.
Like Justin Fields has been semi-electric here and there, but it's not the Fields I think we thought we were going to get, which is another reason I have a hard time with Mason Taylor. He's probably going to see volume. Is it going to be good volume? We don't know. From Justin Fields.
Again, I would argue, though, that if Cleveland wasn't getting destroyed, like, it's not like that they're going to be peppering, I don't think, Harold Fanning and any other Browns players in a game with 30 to 50 mile an hour winds. Like, if that's forecast actually stands, like, that's insane. I mean,
that's insane.
I've played a golf tournament and that my skinny ass could barely stand up. I mean, I don't know how you'd be able to throw the ball. And depending on which way the wind is blowing, right? Like if it's a crosswind, forget about it. If they get lucky, it'll be north-south to where you're either throwing into a dead wind or downwind, but it's going to be tough.
Yep. All right, we're going to move on to the next one here. Another Rachaad White question. He has Rachaad White. Arturo Flores over on YouTube does. They, another team I'm assuming, offered him Bucky Irving and Josh Allen for his Jahmyr Gibbs. Would you make this deal? I would say absolutely no way in hell.
Is it a dynasty or no?
I'm going to assume not dynasty.
Man. That I would consider it depending on who my quarterback is. Let's put it that way. Because if I don't have a top quarterback and I'm basically getting, 1A, 1B and Josh Allen, and then I know I have the Bucks backfield, which, whether it's Bucky or Rachaad, they're at least good. The thing that concerns me with Gibbs and why, like, if it's not dynasty, I would consider moving off of him is the fact that they're talking about they got to get Montgomery the ball more. And I'm just worried we're going to get back to, and again, he can be electric, but it caps his ceiling, right? Like if he's only getting 15, at max 20 touches a week, he's not going to have the games that we saw down the stretch. I really thought this was going to be the season, even with Montgomery coming back, we were going to see mostly what we saw at the end of last year, where Gibbs was just a super freaking nova, man. What he, rushed for like 150, it seemed like every game, and was getting 30 touches. I just don't know if that's the case. And when you're throwing in Allen, who's the safest play at quarterback, especially with, he seems to be the one guy that can avoid injuries, I would consider it.
So I want to throw this up there. Mr. Doug Royer, father of one Casey Kasem, saying you two guys are the best. Hey, Doug, it's great to see you, buddy.
He complimented our other show, and it seriously was like, it made my week. Because he said that he loved the show. He just wished it was longer, which is my dream, because I just want to talk forever. So
yeah, right.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah, Doug was the first person I saw really when we got into Canton at the expo. He got there ahead of Casey and Sarah, and it was great. It was great.
He was there this year?
Yeah, he was there. You didn't see him?
No.
What?
Oh, I'm so upset. Your daughter, by the way, is just one of the most fantastic people on the planet.
Oh, she's
I adore Casey.
So she's
you're obviously, I know, an amazing dude because you raised Casey. I mean, how could you not be? But next year, dude, we got to meet. I didn't know you were there. I'm very disappointed in Casey. I'm gonna get on her about that.
I can't believe you didn't meet. This is like the third year in a row he's been there too. He comes every year.
That's awesome.
It's great. I want to point this out too, and this is a really good point on that last question. If you're stuck with someone like Kyler Murray, quarterback 23, which I don't know if you looked at my draft rankings, maybe you got an idea. It was a bad idea to draft him, but hey, that's neither here nor there. Maybe next season you can try that again. Then you make the deal for that package. If you've got someone like Dak Prescott, you don't make that deal, and I agree. I mean, if you're good enough at quarterback,
perfect. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. You know what I don't love is the fact that we have to talk about this Miami-Cleveland game so much.
Well, it's because people are concerned about it, right? Like that's, when you get that kind of weather, I think that's going to be the most popular question on Sunday morning shows too, is like, do I start this guy or Doug? I can't wait for it, man. It's going to be awesome.
I know it is going to be awesome. Well, I'll have a beer. It'll be great. I want to throw this one out here from Caden over on YouTube. We got this question the other day. Actually, Casey and I got this question yesterday, but it's changed because there's only one way you can go here now. Marvin Harrison Jr. still has not cleared concussion protocol.
I thought he did.
Did he? I didn't see that he did.
I thought I read today that he practiced it fully and is on pace to play.
I probably missed that.
It was saying that yesterday.
Casey popped in the perfect time to hear us saying all these nice things about her. What's up, Casey? Okay. Marvin Harrison Jr. clears concussion protocol. Debo, I don't trust Debo. I don't trust that he's going to play.
Yeah, it looked like he played. He forced him, like they forced him out there, and he did not look like Debo Samuel that we know Monday.
Yep. Okay, so I'm getting all sorts of crap. Yeah, I got to keep up with our news account. That's optimusfantasynews.bsky.social. I usually do, Lou. I like all of them. I try and retweet all of them.
I
hard.
literally just saw that like 20 minutes
Yeah.
before we came on
Well,
the show.
Carly's so good with that account.
Mhm.
There's just so much news coming out, and it can be hard to keep up with, but also it's amazing because you know everything that's going on. Casey saying
She's
like
the
and
best.
subscribe and just tell these fellas they are amazing. You don't have to do that, but make sure you like and subscribe because you can catch
I
Casey
don't know.
and
I need the attention. So yeah, tell me I'm amazing. I
Yeah.
love it.
I mean, you are.
Me
You're
and Casey,
amazing.
this is what me and Casey have in common. It's like shower me with love.
Yeah, right. All right. I'm gonna go. I think Cortland Sutton. You have to start. It's against the Giants.
Yeah.
I love the matchup. I'm gonna go BTJ.
I mean, there's been a change, right?
Have to throw.
They're figuring it out.
Last week.
He's running different routes. Like they're letting him run routes that make more sense and stuff that Trevor Lawrence excels at, and so does he. So I would too. I think Marvin Harrison's a fine play, but I'm with you. Even if Debo's cleared, I know it's a dream matchup versus Dallas. I'm so worried that he's so banged up. He's either going to have a performance like he did Monday or maybe tweak something, end up not finishing the game. So I just think it's way too risky when you have good other options.
Well, I don't think he plays. I mean, I think maybe they push a little bit more with Terry McLaurin out, but also I just don't think he plays. They've got Luke McCaffrey. What else do you need, man? You've got a McCaffrey to take his place.
He'll be in my DK lineups. I know that.
Yep. All right, and here's the other one. We also got this one the other day. I don't think this one's changed for me. Jordan Love or Bo Nix?
I think I have to go Love. Normally, I always go with the running quarterback, but I have real concerns about like what Bo Nix's look like. And oh, by the way, if they get down, boy, that is not a pass rush that you want to be messing around with. Like, I think for Denver to win this game, you need a big J.K. Dobbins run the ball type performance to where Green Bay versus Arizona, like you can throw all over the Cardinals, and that's exactly what I expect to happen.
Yeah, same. I've got Jordan Love right now. I've got him at QB 11 this week, and then I've got Nix at QB 13. So kind of even. I mean, the Broncos are playing the Giants. And teams have done whatever they've wanted to this Giants team, except for the Saints.
And the Eagles.
Well, we've got Kevin dropping in saying not Jordan Love, and he's our resident Green Bay Packers fan. I understand not wanting to start Jordan Love because he's Jordan Love and it's just not sexy. I guess it could be a toss-up. You could probably go either way, Caden, and you'll be fine. I mean, they're both fringe quarterback 1, high quarterback 2 prospects. I would assume this is probably in a super flex slot. So, yeah, it's a toss-up for me. Go either way.
If Kevin wants to say something, he needs to bring his ass on the show and say it to our faces.
Well, hey, at least he's watching, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
Caden saying thanks for the help,
that,
guys.
But,
He's like, I trust Nix more than I trust Jordan Love, kind of. I trust volume. I trust rushing upside. Jordan Love doesn't have a ton of that. I don't know. Caden was leading Jordan Love anyway, worried about pounding Jacobs. I think Jacobs is going to have a good day, but I think Jordan Love will be fine. Couple touchdowns. He'll throw for 200 yards. He won't make any mistakes. Probably not throwing an interception in this game, I wouldn't imagine. Really,
though, outside of Jonathan Taylor, running backs have not had that much success against Arizona. It's actually been the passing game where they've given up, I believe, multiple touchdowns in 5 or 6 games.
Oh, their secondary is awful. That defense isn't great. You would have thought they'd be better by now with Jonathan Gannon. They just haven't gotten there.
Well, I have friends that are Philly fans that believe he was overrated anyway. So,
I mean, maybe he was. We find out. I think it's interesting because obviously you have to find these head coaches somewhere, right? You can't just keep ruminating through the same pool of head coaches. So you take stabs on coordinators, but how often it doesn't work out. And you would think these guys being in the meeting rooms all week, like they see how the teams operate. You'd think guys like Josh McDaniels would be better at this. Wade Phillips, you would have thought he would have been better at this as a head coach. Great coordinators, but I think Gannon's one of those guys. I think Shane Steichen might turn out to be one of those guys too. Like this is one good season.
Ooh, I think Steichen is a good coach. Because if you look, their quarterback's been a mess. They won 9 games? I think with Gardner Minshew a couple of years ago. I mean, because I believe if you get him like an elite quarterback, which they whiffed on Richardson, how much he was involved in that, who knows? But I think you like say if he was, got lucky and drafted Daniels or May or one of those guys. Oh my God, I would love to see the Colts because remember he got the most out of Jalen Hurts. He's
That's
getting
a
the
fair
most out of
point.
Daniel Jones. Like I think Steichen is if nothing else, a fantastic play caller, and they've been competitive, despite again really subpar QB play.
Sure. All right, we're gonna go to this one in the chat, Keith. KJ Frederick over on YouTube. What's up, guys? Have a few questions. Here's the first of two. Better QB to start, Bo Nix or Sam Darnold in full PPR? We kind of already talked about this. I'm starting Darnold over Bo Nix.
Again, it depends on what you're looking for. I think the safer floor is Bo Nix.
Sure.
The higher ceiling is Sam Darnold, especially with the way he is throwing those deep passes. I mean, I think he's still completing 80% of his passes that are traveling 10 plus air yards, which is insane.
So I know people are down on this matchup. Houston's given up the fewest points to fantasy quarterbacks of any team in the league. I was looking through it today and kind of just looking at who they've actually played, right?
There you go.
And
that's why they're giving up 12 points per game. I keep arguing with people.
Right. Well, okay. They had Cooper Rush last week, Cam Ward week 4.
Mm-hmm.
They had Trevor Lawrence in week 3. Now, week 1 and week 2, they had Matthew Stafford and Baker Mayfield. Stafford didn't look like himself week 1. That one doesn't count. They went up against Baker Mayfield. He scored a lot of points on him. They've been good against mediocre quarterbacks. Sam Darnold isn't a mediocre quarterback.
No.
At all. So I have no concern about him. I actually trust his floor more than I trust Nick's because I worry that Nick's has another, oh, look, he threw for 110 yards and 1 touchdown, and then the offense just didn't do anything else like last week. So,
and they're going to be forced to throw. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, Seattle has, for whatever reason, still giving more carries to Charbonnet, even though he's like the least efficient runner in the league. But Houston is a really good run defense, and I just don't have any confidence they're going to be able to run on Houston, meaning that they're going to probably have to throw even more. And the only game we've seen Darnold really throw it a lot was the Tampa game, and he went, bananas.
Yep, exactly. So, yeah, for me, it's going to be Darnold over Knicks. We got this one now. If DeAndre Swift misses Sunday's game, should I drop Bam for Kuminga, or not Kuminga? Man, I see basketball brain. Manon guy, I'm assuming is what you meant, and spot start him as my RB2 full PPR.
I would probably do that anyway if you have DeAndre Swift, because we have seen like one thing about Ben Johnson, whoever his running back is going to have success because he's so good at designing plays to where they consistently are at the top of the league in yards before contact. It's happened, in Detroit. He comes to Chicago. It's happening in Chicago. And, Swift has a history of injuries. I would way rather make sure I have the Chicago backfield, which it's going to be one of those two guys if something happened, to Swift, than have Bam, who knows how long it's going to be, right? Like, I mean, even last week, Michael Carter still got a good bit of volume.
Yep. Well, and that's what I was going to ask, because really what it comes down to here is how much you trust that Bam Knight's going to continue to get, relevant volume, scoring opportunity volume, versus, really Manon guy, if DeAndre Swift misses time, is going to get a full workload. Rashawn Johnson's still not fully healthy. Sorry, Jamie. I know that makes you sad. It makes me sad too. But I really like Manon guy a lot better than Bam Knight, especially in the long term. And like in Dynasty, I've got him taxied all over the freaking place. He was basically free in rookie drafts. So
again, it's insurance, right? Like you have a good run game. Like Chicago has a good run game. And that way, it's just like I feel like, to a lesser, obviously, extent. But if you have CMC, I feel like you have to have Brian Robinson, right? Like you have to.
Yeah.
Because if something happens, you're going to be pissed, right? So.
Oh, exactly. Okay, I want to ask you something here, and then we'll get on out of here. So this weekend, what's your favorite game? Which game are you most excited to watch, and which game from a fantasy perspective are you most interested to see?
So most excited to watch. Are we talking about main slate or all week?
All week.
obviously for me, it's the Falcons Niners. It's a 70% chance make the playoffs if we win. It's like 30% if we lose. It would be one of the most Atlanta things ever to come off the high of huge wins against Washington and Buffalo and then lose to San Francisco with all their injuries. And I actually feel really good because with Warner out, like they're going to have a hard time, I think, stopping Bijan laterally. You know what I mean? And that's where he's so dangerous. The game from fantasy is just, I can't wait to see the Washington Dallas game because like Dak, I don't think he's getting enough credit how great Dak is playing. Ferguson and Lamb both had in the 3-game absence of Ferguson and Pickens in the 3-game absence of Lamb both had 19 receptions and 4 touchdowns. They both did in the 3 games. And now you're adding CeeDee Lamb to that versus a Washington D that struggled in the past. Yep. But then also just see Jaden Daniels in Dallas, you know what I mean? It's like the 4:00 kind of primetime game. Like I could just see him going bananas. And I just think it's going to be a shootout, which will be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the Washington Dallas game in that 225. But then Monday night, I'm really excited for that Tampa Bay Detroit game, man.
Yeah.
That's going to be
Baker had his guys though, right? Like, because it almost feels like it's like Baker with one arm tied behind his back versus Detroit.
That makes it more interesting, though.
Gonna win.
I do too, and that makes it all the more interesting. Like, okay, so Baker keeps winning in these situations. How's he going to win this one? Because this is a good Detroit team with a decent defense. No Emeka Egbuka, no Chris Godwin, no Jaleel McLaughlin.
It's unbelievable.
Sorry, Jalen.
Is he your MVP? Because he is mine right now. Like he's got to be.
He's my
right?
MVP.
Yeah,
he's my MVP. He's doing more with less. I mean, there's no Bucky Irving. So you're rolling out there with Sterling Shepard, Rashad White,
the kid that thought he was MVP, Johnson,
right? Tez Johnson, Kalen Johnson, and Kate Otten, and Mike Evans. But Mike Evans, we'll see how effective he is in his first game back. I think he'll be fine. I think he's good for probably 10 targets. We'll just see what he does with them. So,
the other thing is just like he didn't have Worth the first 2 games. So like, I mean, I can't get over how good Baker has been considering that. And then again, it's unfair to Dak. Dak would be the only guy that I would consider, but you can't really consider somebody on a losing team. Like that's the MVP in the NFL. You have to have a really good team. So
yeah,
he's the only guy that would be able to qualify. Cause I feel like what Dak's doing with his defense giving up 30 points a game is equally as impressive and losing CeeDee Lamb in 3 games, you know.
It is, but yeah, I mean, Baker kind of has to be the MVP, and I'm going to keep throwing this out into the universe. I want a freaking creamsicle Baker Mayfield jersey for Christmas.
I don't because I'm a Falcons fan, but those are like my favorite jerseys just about in the world that are not, obviously Falcons gear.
Well, I could get a Baker Cleveland jersey for like $20, but I mean,
that's kind of what, these jerseys went with is a little bit of the creamsicle, which I like, it's kind of that.
I'm just going to say, I think jerseys that have advertisements on them should be cheaper because like my Jackson's Russell Westbrook jersey, it has the Ibotta logo that's on all the Denver Nuggets stuff. It's like, look, man, we are freaking advertising for you guys. Like, could you cover 30% of the cost of this $100 jersey for a kid? Like, come on.
That's a good thing about the old jerseys. They do not have like that neat jersey I have there. It does not have the logo to where my other Trae Young from 2 years earlier, it's a different logo, but it also has, the sponsorship logo on there. And I hate it. Like, it's like they don't make enough money. These franchises make so much money that now they got to advertise,
So my family they went to Europe, they went to Italy, and they brought back this Serie A Italian team jersey for me. And it's way too tight. Like I'm going to have to lose 20 pounds.
Looks like a NASCAR.
Yeah. But that's the thing is that these European leagues, like the front is a big Kappa logo. The 2 girls sitting back to back with their knees up. It's literally all advertisements. It took me, I had to do a really deep Google search to figure out what the name of the team even was because it's not on the jersey. It's all advertisements.
That's amazing.
But yeah, so I don't know. I guess we're just getting close to Europe. But on that note, we're going to get closer to Europe by taking a siesta for the rest of the afternoon and into the weekend. Because, damn it, it's almost football time. We got college ball tomorrow.
Big game,
Go
man.
Dogs. Go Buffs, though it doesn't really matter. They're not in contention for anything, but I do get to watch the traffic up and down the highway behind my house.
They're fun to watch, though, right? Which is nice. Like, Colorado went from a boring kind of program to exciting, which is always good.
I'd like to go to a game, man, but they're so freaking expensive. It's like
really
the crappy seats. It's like $120 for upper level crap seats now.
And that's a big stadium, right? Like, it holds a ton of people, doesn't it?
Like 40. It's like 40,
okay. It's not 45. I thought that it was one that holds like 60, 70,000. Okay, that
no,
makes
it's not
sense.
that big.
Yeah,
but then they have a massive student section too. Okay, we got it in under the wire, so we're gonna get to this one here really quick from Adam Penzone over on YouTube. Thoughts on this trade, Keith? It's a 10-man sleeper league team. Sent Cortland Sutton, and George Kittle for Jaden Daniels, 2-time scoring for quarterbacks, Emeka Egbuka, Rome Odunze, Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Wow.
He's saying after Daniels, that's his team.
That's his team. Okay, got it.
For Daniels.
Okay, that's a pretty good deal. Yeah, I like that.
Only concern would be is like, who is your tight end? Because Kittle's going to obviously go bananas, but if it's quarterbacks or 2-time scoring, they're the most valuable players, just period. And you would have a guy that's like pretty much a guaranteed top 5. And I love that we saw Daniels, even with how he's been banged up, come back and he rushed like 58 yards in his first game. So yeah, man, like Sutton, to me, with the receivers you got, you're not playing him anyway.
Right.
And then, you can always find a tight end, to be honest. Like,
go stream I do like Kittle.
Yeah. Go stream
Cade Otton. There you go.
Okay, he's got Fannin too. You're good.
He's got Kincaid. Yeah, no, you're plenty good, man. You're plenty good. That's a good deal.
I love that trade. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we like to say on the Football Diehard show on Sirius XM, you bent him over a barrel. I couldn't be prouder. If you see Bob Harris, tell him I said that on my show, not just his.
Obviously, though, you got consent to bend him over a barrel. Let's just obviously. Dude, if I can say it on Sirius XM, I can say it on here. Kidding. All right. I know. All right, folks. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new here, if you're watching us on the replay or you're listening to the audio version, please make sure you like, subscribe, follow along on your favorite podcast platform. If you've got questions we didn't get to, or again, you're listening to the audio version or watching the rewatch, head on over to our Discord channel, folks. It is manned by our whole staff, and we've got everything you could possibly want. The link is right there on the screen. It's also down below in the show description. Waiver wire advice, dynasty discussions, best NFL bets, DFS advice, and a lot more. And when you're done there, head on over to tools.optimusfantasy.com. Check us out, folks. 25% off your first 4 months with the promo code OptimusFall. It's a rad set of tools. We just added an awesome DFS optimizer. You can optimize up to 20 lineups to your specifications, download those on a CSV and put them into DraftKings. We've also got a nice little betting tool that'll help you set some props and some line bets this weekend. So make sure you check that out. Again, promo code OptimusFall for 25% off your first 4 months. Keith, on that note, I think we're going to get out of here. Go enjoy our Friday. Have that little European siesta. Relax. I'm going to go pick up the kid for dinner. All right, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in again. It's been great. For Keith Flemming, I'm Nate Polvogt. We'll see you next week on Friday Vibes.